Good afternoon, everyone. So we are here today with Béatrice, Mariolle, and Margarita Dekina from ENSA Lille, which is École Nationale Supérieure de l'Architecture et de Paysage in Lille in north of France. Margarita and Dekina, as part of their university, they have an exhibition in Palazzo Bembo, as well as the past week they had a workshop about biomaterials, and today we're just concluding a conference about acclimatizing post-mining territories in different places inside the world by different examples. So we'll start our discussion today and ask both Margarita and Beatrice about the research that they're currently doing. So if you can share with our audience what you actually do and the different scopes that you're looking into.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Harry. Well, you know, when I arrived in Lille, after teaching 20 years in Paris, I really wanted to have a territory that I could work in with my students and make research and have PhD students working on. And I started to be very concerned about the mining territory, north of France basin, mining basin, and I found out it's very big. It's 150 kilometers long, and it's like they say a banana, black banana,
gray banana.
Yeah, and but it's very interesting because what I discovered is that there are mining territories in every continent, in every country, everywhere. And they are really interesting because that's maybe one of the origins of capitalism, of industry, and you know, some mines are as old as Etrusc, or so it's not only 20th century, and the north of France they started in the 18th century, so it's quite old. But since we found coal and since we found resources to make energy, then everything became different. So that was really, and we talked of it today, colonized territories for their resources. And so there were a lot of migrations from all kinds of countries, people coming from all kinds of countries, and they built, I mean, at least in this, in north of France, they built very beautiful mining cities around the places where they found I'm sorry, I don't know the words in English, but where they found the coal, and they have churches and schools, and also all the city around the place to extraction. And suddenly they stopped, you know, they closed. They closed, the last one closed in the 1990, so it's not that far away. And all these people became, it was a big crisis, economical and environmental, of course, because everywhere is polluted. So there are many, many questions, and people are still living there, and they are very poor, and so there are political questions too. Anyway, so it's really lots of things, and for architects, I think it's very interesting because you have the relationship with landscape and the risk and the pollution and everything, and people are there. And I'm very convinced that even though this territory is labeled by UNESCO heritage, most of people still feel that it's a lousy place because they don't live very well there. So they absolutely don't know what's heritage and the quality of the place where they live. So there is a great deal in working with them and trying to make them more confident and liking their territory better, to defend it.
Wow. Now we can see and understand the passion behind all of the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe you can also explain to us the chair of acclimatizing post-mining territories that you founded, and it's based in Lille.
Yeah.
And how is it endorsed and it's labeled by the Ministry of Culture, and it's headed by Enza. So yes, could you share with us more about that?
Yeah, there was a call organized by the Ministry of Culture, the French Ministry of Culture, and the subject was architecture and innovation. And we were the only one to really apply with a project on a specific territory. And so we were labeled, which means that we have a little money, not very much, but it's important to find money, because we have like a stamp, you know, we have Ministry of Culture, so it's easier to find money.
Much visibility for us.
Absolutely.
It's actually labeled by the Ministry of the Culture.
And the question and the theme acclimatizing, it's named as climate there, but it's not climate only in terms of meteo, it's climate in terms of social meaning too, and economical meaning too.
Okay, no, nice, very interesting. And today you held a conference also labeled Acclimatizing Post-Mining Territories. Could you share with us more who was there, who was present inside the conference, and some of the topics and key findings that we have, very briefly?
Yeah.
Just before, I would just say that the idea of founding a network on mining territories is that I'm so passionate by this question of mining territories that I thought that I wanted to meet other people who are, and we can tell today that people are passionate too.
The motive behind creating this conference today.
Yeah, actually, this is the background, the passion. We wanted to gather together people, architects, urbanists, researchers in different fields like social and artists that work on post-mining topics. So today we had different intervenants coming from United States, Kentucky University, from Germany, France, Belgium, Chile, Switzerland. So we really covered a lot of geographical zones. And the thing that gathers us is the post-mining topics.
And people from Zoom, from Canada.
Yes, I think that's Ukraine.
Yeah.
And so today, the first part of the day was dedicated to the presentation of case studies of the architects and urbanists that work on the site remediation, the soil reintegration, social housing, restoration of old housing that were with the people that work on the mining sites. And the second part of the day was consecrated to the brainstorming activities. So we worked together to understand what will be the goal of the network, how can we work together, when we can meet in the future, what financing can we find, and it was a very productive part of the day. What other can I say?
No, that's great. Thank you. And the network itself, the scientific network, as you were mentioning, you're hoping to have future possibilities and collaborations together. How do you think this will potentially take place?
Yeah, actually, we already have some ideas. In autumn and winter of the next year, we will organize meetings between Lille, and South, Kent University and Leuven University in Belgium, because we have won some small grant, small amount of money to make the cooperations with them. And we would like also apply to European financing. And so we will continue with conferences, seminars. We will also publish the seminar proceedings. And all the people were quite motivated today. It was really, really nice to see proceed, and we will hope that this network will live and will product and will bring together a lot of people.
Great, that's great. No, thank you so much. We're very happy to have you here and host you at the European Cultural Center. As part of the events that we hold, in addition to the exhibition, in addition to having seminars and having conferences and talks, we're also very happy that we were able to connect different exhibitors inside the exhibition, like Acclimater University and University of Kentucky, who also work on similar topics. And we're very happy that we managed to do this link all together and in the end end up ending up in the scientific network. The last thing I want to speak to you about is that earlier this week you had a workshop about biomaterials. Yes, please, Beatrice, share with us.
The link between, so we had this workshop for 1 week, and we made a call for this workshop. So we had students from Germany, India, Belgium,
France, Italy.
Italy, and so that was, and very few, I only knew 2 of them,
Nice,
so that was really great. And the question was new materials, new ornaments, which means that working after maybe 1 century of concrete, new materials are starting to look like earth, mud, straw, algae, all kind of materials that designers already work with, and architects start to think about them. So, but these materials are possible to make by hand, So it changes many things, and they can be made together with people, and like if you have the recipe, you can make bioplastic by yourself. And on the other hand, you have waste. And you don't know what to do with waste anymore. So, but there are many ways of making bioplastic by waste. So we had 2 materials, bioplastic and I don't know if it's mud or earth, but anyway. And so the students were looking for local materials, so they went to the Lido to get shells and sand and coconut hair, and so they went to Murano to get some broken glasses and
a mask.
And they transform the mask. Okay. So all these ideas that you can maybe take an iron and iron your mask, or iron plastic bottles, and you transform them, and you can make bricks with them, or can be maybe ground, I don't know. And decoration. So the question was how can the question of ornaments that disappeared with concrete can come back in another way.
No, that's very interesting. That's very nice that you have the workshop. Great feedback from the local community also that you engaged with. Also experimenting with different materials and experimenting with the local materials from Murano and from Lido. That is very interesting, and we're very happy that you managed to do that and exhibit the end result also here in Palazzo Michele, aside from the conference. So it was a very big success, we might say. So thank you for that.
But thank you to you, because many of the people who were here today, they came and asked me, how come you can you can set this conference in such a beautiful palace, So thank you very much.
We're happy to have you, and we invite you all to visit the exhibition also by Enza Lille in Palazzo Bembo, which is ongoing until the end of November. So make sure to check it out, and hope to have you again in the upcoming years as well, with more conferences and more the scientific network to be concretely established.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.